The late, great Tupac's family was all about that smoke. We'll explain, and you won't believe what Idris Elba has never seen in his life.
And do you young guys have a chance to get some cougar action with Charlize Theron? And Cynthia Erivo praises the Thong Song. We got all that and much more. So,
welcome to Side Dish.
Okay, but how tan are we?
Yo, we're pretty tan. I'm pretty tan.
Did you go to the beach?
I went to the beach. I actually got a new LA tattoo. Look at there. Got that for my time in LA.
Hey!
Yeah, I feel like I became an adult in Los Angeles. I was there a little bit over the break, so I thought, why not?
I went to the pool.
Oh, okay.
Went to the pool a lot.
Yeah?
It was crazy because, like, July 4th is typically, like, America's, never mind. I'll tell you about that later, right? But anyway, here at Side Dish, we're more than an appetizer when it comes to pop culture and fun. We are the whole meal.
Hope you're hungry, folks. We got a big meal coming for you today.
All right, man. So first, we should probably dive into this Feed Me, huh? Well, Kim Kardashian was on Celebrity Family Feud some time back, and she gave an obvious answer to Steve's question, but they were both shocked they didn't rate on the board. Check this out.
Name a part of the body you're always banging into things.
Your butt.
Fill in the blank. Name a part of the body you're always banging into things. You said your butt.
Come on, Steve. That's hilarious.
I really knocked things over with my butt before.
Bam. Survey said. What?
It's a very low percentage problem for people.
Yeah. Not everybody has the problem she's got in terms of knocking things over there.
It's good to see Steve still thinking like a man, though.
Yeah. I appreciate his camera awareness because to know that the camera's over here, that's almost the Thriller look.
I was about to say we needed that freeze frame and the yellow eyes. We could use jaundice just in case we can't get that cat eye.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But and I think also too, like when your butt is new, you're not aware that it's there. You know what I mean?
Kind of like getting a new car and you don't know how far back the trunk goes.
Yeah. Like if you went from like the Kia Sportage to like, a long body Cadillac, you go hit some things.
Yeah, she went from like a smart car to a Ford F-150. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of room.
We knocking some things over.
Yeah.
To everybody in the chat, what is a body part that you have knocked some things over with? Feel free to respond into the chat. Based off of some of your avatars, some of you guys are a little top heavy. So kudos to you.
Yeah. I have an issue with kicking things. I just kick the snot out of things all the time. I know that both my pinky toes have got to be broken and smashed into a million pieces because I'm always kicking things. And then I'm also real bad about like forgetting that I've literally placed a drink right here. And I don't know why I'm just like out of nowhere knocking it over.
Yo, I usually run into things that have been there like the entire time. Like, I always get accused of coming into like certain rooms like Kramer because like I just open, like just the way I come in the door, but like, I don't know, it just sounds aggressive, but it's really not that bad. And I also don't pay attention to anything that's below my shins.
I don't see them. I don't see the things down there until I find it with my toes.
It's the worst. There's nothing that can repress you into a sniveling child faster than a toe injury.
Oh yeah. It's that thing that when you hit it, it makes you mad. It's not just that it hurts, it's like you're mad that you hurt yourself like this.
Yeah, I remember I used to punch the wall whenever I would hit things. Like, the stupid wall.
Yeah.
Stupid, I hate you, wall. But I was a kid, so it didn't do no damage.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. The late, great Tupac's family, they missed him so much that they smoked him. Literally. What? Suge Knight told People magazine that after Tupac was cremated, his family and friends gathered together, passed around his ashes, rolled them into blunts, and smoked him. Yep. Suge reportedly said he was the only one out of the crew who didn't participate. Thank you, Suge. He claims he told Tupac's mother, Afeni Shakur, that he was on probation at the time and he was afraid of getting busted, though he admitted that he would have loved to partake. I'm sorry, what?
Well, if he was smoking pure Pac with no cut, and if they didn't sprinkle weed in there to dilute the Pac, if he was smoking straight up Pac, I think he would have been okay with that.
But hold on a second. Here's my thing, HK. Like I'm a little confused because he's already been smoked.
This is true.
Like, how do you smoke ash? Do you smoke ash?
I've heard of this before, and I feel like there's a rock group, I feel like somebody from the Rolling Stones or maybe Motley Crue.
Wait, hold on. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Didn't Keith Richards snorted his dad?
There we go. Yep, that's what I'm saying. Rolling Stones, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Slightly different, and I don't know if you'd feel like, it's like if they drug tested Suge Knight and he tested positive for pot.
Yo, if you test positive for another man in your blood, normally, I mean, you're. Yeah.
Okay, and according to our side dish research team, they actually spoke to a member of the family and confirmed.
Okay. I'm so uncomfortable with this for so many reasons. Like, do you think if it was part of his instructions,
right?
If he had a document sitting back there in the back and they found that like, okay, he wanted to be cremated. Okay, cool, check, got that. And then I'm going further down the document. It's like, and I would like to be rolled up into blunts and smoked. Like, I'm like, dang, all right, I guess we got to do it.
Yeah, because like maybe there was a will that we didn't get a chance to see.
Yeah.
Because I know in his song "Life Goes On," which is featured on the All Eyes on Me double album, he said he wanted a cipher at his funeral and to let every rapper rock it. That did not happen.
Yeah.
So are we picking and choosing how much we're listening to Pac? Because I didn't hear him say that in any of his raps.
Just if, and for the chat, because I'd be interested in what people have to say. Like, if you were to be turned into ashes, we're just jumping way far out there. What would you want done with your ashes?
I can't even wrap my brain around that question because I think like getting burnt is like the most like it's to me is one of the most foulest ways to go out. So I remember a good friend of mine passed away. He actually was like a producer on this show, and they had his like memorial service at the crematorium. And he's like, "Yo, would you like to watch it?" And I'm like, "Hell no." I don't want to watch you burn up my homeboy.
Wait, they don't have like, no, you don't see it.
No, we could have sat in chairs and watched them put them in the oven like pizza.
Put them in the, like it's not cremation, it's DiGiorno's. Why isn't a memorial service at a crematorium called a cookout?
We await your answers in the chat. Yeah.
Grill them all.
But what say y'all? Are y'all smoking the ashes? Are you snorting the ashes? Are you using them as a decorative swizzle on a meal?
Oh no, not a little Salt Bay, a little Grandpa Bay. That's the thing. I've always thought the cremation thing is like, I get it. It's very economical. It's also like respectful to the planet. We're not taking up real estate that could otherwise be used for housing. But at the same time, like a tin full of Tupac.
It's just too much room for error there. Somebody gonna knock the tin over. So you're anti cremation.
I'm anti put in an urn, kept on the shelf.
Okay. Because I got my dog in a little box on a shelf.
Yeah, okay.
Rest in peace, Lucy.
Yeah.
But like I want to be frozen so they can figure out what happened.
All right. But what if they know what happened?
I feel like we're years away from the cure for everything. I keep seeing that if you could make it to 2036, you can make it to 3036.
Well, 2036 is only what, 9 years? That's 11 years away?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, nanotech. They say nanotech.
It's coming.
Yeah, they got things that can like fix everything that's wrong with you on the inside. So y'all hold on, yo. Yeah. Y'all hold on.
But also Google eBay, because what if one of those Tupac blunts came up for sale?
Yo, Tupac pre-rolls, 2P rolls. Let me get some of that Machiavelli. Anyway, Idris Elba stopped by Amy Poehler's podcast, Good Hang with Amy. And Amy asked Idris if he watched The Wire, the classic show he starred in. And here's what he had to say.
I didn't watch The Wire.
I've heard this, that you didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it. And I feel bad. It's not that I'm not a fan of it. I was there. I made a show that was, it was so intense and so real, so important. And even though I didn't realize the importance of the show while making it.
Yeah, rarely do we.
Right.
Yeah.
But I didn't participate in its celebration as a viewer, as a fan. And so I feel a little bit like,
well, could you start celebrating it now?
no, man.
Why?
I mean,
That makes me sad that you can't enjoy how good you are in The Wire. You're so good. Idris. Okay, I know. I'm gonna turn into like
from my twin. I'm taking this. Thank you.
All right. Did he say from my twin?
Yeah.
Nice.
Have you seen The Wire?
I have not finished The Wire. I have seen a lot of The Wire. I have not finished The Wire.
Okay, I have really spotty Wire viewing too. Season 1, part of season 2 the rest of everything. Because like in season 2, they bring these Russians in. I'm like, yo, what the hell's going on here?
Right.
I'm out. And then in the end, they make up for all of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is all connected. I get it now. But
Yeah.
I never went back. Yo, when I saw his character string a bell on The Wire, and then saw an interview with Idris Elba.
Right.
I felt like you was watching a Scooby-Doo villain get unmasked.
Yeah.
He's like, what, you're British? Because he seemed like every, like, you know, East Coast dude that you ever know. And, like, he just mastered it to a T.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, it's the foreigners are taking our jobs, Ace K. Like they're coming around here. Idris Elba playing an American prison inmate.
And it's very rare that you get to see him play a true bloke. You know, he recently came out with a movie with John Cena.
Right.
I watched it over the course of
President.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good, man. Shout out to both of those guys. They're getting to it.
It's also one of those things. I mean, he was killed off in like season 3, right?
Yeah.
So he's kind of like Dokes in Dexter. Like Dokes was one of the best characters, if you know. Dokes was one of the best characters in Dexter, and they killed him off in I think season 2.
Yeah.
And the show never regained its shine.
It got weird. Like the tension between Dokes and Dexter was special.
Yeah.
The Stringer Bell's attachment to the whole Wire dynamic was special. Because I would love to see how him and you know, just some of the other like dealers, like how would he have dealt with Marlo,
Right.
You know, and later on seasons, things like that. So does this make y'all want to rewatch The Wire? Because you know your man Idris ain't into it. But does that make you more into it? Or are you like me and Tanner and we need to go back and probably do a refresher course?
I definitely need to do the refresher, but also I'm gonna say this: like I don't watch a lot of the things that I've been in or that I've done.
I get that.
Like I don't go back and watch old episodes of Dish Nation. I'll watch Side Dish. I definitely poke into the Side Dish comments from time to time. But like there's like I've been in some movies and some old like TV show stuff, and like I don't go back and be like, oh, was I good in this episode? You know, like I don't do it.
I try to let enough time go by to where like I could watch it with fresh eyes and be like, do I hate this? Oh wow, it was good. I should have promoted it more. You know, like, but yeah, like I think sometimes when you're too close to the stove, you don't want to, you don't want to be in front of it all the time. So I get that.
Yeah,
I get
for sure. All right, moving on a little bit. Charlize Theron, who is 49 years young, she's having the time of her life in the bedroom.
Hey.
Here's what she recently did with someone almost half her age.
Probably had 3 one-night stands in my entire life. Okay. But I did just recently a 26-year-old, and it was really amazing. Yes, and I've never done that. And I was like, oh, this is great. Okay.
Let me just say, that 26-year-old is the luckiest man walking on this planet. He's walking different today, knowing, oh my God.
He for sure is not, but thank you.
Well. Monsters Ball indeed.
Well, just Monster in that case. 'cause that was the one.
Monster. That was the one, not Monsters Ball. Yeah.
But if they did do a gentrified Monsters Ball, I'll accept that person's tribute.
Yeah, 49. So this guy's got to be in his mid-20s. Mm-hmm.
Like
He's got to know who she is.
it depends, because sometimes these people come through glammed up when you see them like interviews and things like that.
Yeah.
And when you see them off the clock, you know, like, oh, what up, Charlie?
She's tall, though. I've only seen Charlize Theron in person one time, and she's a lot taller than I anticipated. And, like, it was very clear that was Charlize Theron, but I'm also not half her age, so.
Yeah, I mean, you know, with the right like beard mustache situation, like, you know, probably pull it off.
I could do it.
Yeah.
Maybe, I wonder if she likes him young now.
Isn't
that a thing once women get a little rah-rah or a little rah-rah cougary, they...
Ladies in the back, can y'all speak on this? They're
saying,
we're
excuse
uninitiated.
me?
Like, do y'all prefer younger or like, you know, people that are like kind of like your age and had the same presidents?
The young man's got to have a little something going. It's about 50-50 split back there, whether they like him young or seasoned,
Gotcha.
mature.
But to y'all in the chat, you know, like the ladies in the chat, like, how do y'all prefer it? Do you like it, you know, like little Morgan Freeman? Like Morgan Freeman Glory or Morgan Freeman Now You See Me?
Whoa.
Which are both old.
You said Morgan Freeman in Glory or what?
Or Morgan Freeman and Now You See Me.
No. Morgan Freeman has been old since the beginning.
Yes.
He is the old one. He's always been old.
Morgan
But here's
Freeman
the other
was
thing.
old on the Electric Company.
Yo, yeah.
He's easy reader. He looked dangerous.
Here's the other thing too, though, about thinking about somebody who's like 26 or whatever, Charlize Theron. Like, he doesn't know Charlize Theron as, like, the hot young star. Like, she's already been famous a long time. He might not be intimately familiar with, like, who she is. Maybe he's seen her Fast and Furious movie or whatever. I don't know. But he's definitely coming at it from a different perspective. Because, like, if you know somebody's a celebrity, that might intimidate you a little bit. But if she's just, like, an attractive older woman and you got a little riz...
Yeah. I would imagine if you had enough riz to pull Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
Charlize Theron ain't the baddest chick you pulled.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was just you doing free throws at the club one night, and you moving how you move.
Yeah, you just took shots.
Nah, but
The question in the prompter that our producers have written for us is, have either of you hooked up with an older woman? How old, and was it good? Well. Maybe, and great. Maybe, and I don't regret 1 second of it. That's my official response.
Yeah, nah, like that'd be like, yo, the seasoned vets are legit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they kind of know what they into.
Listen.
You know what I mean?
You know when you go to school, and most of the time you're learning from someone who's a little older than you.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's really great to learn a new lesson. You're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that worked like that.
Yeah, like there's certain styles and positions that have like been retired, but like sometimes when you get with a person who's from certain eras, like oh, wow.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that done. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We're doing that.
They're coming in hot with extra questions. They want to get into my personal life. Not tonight. Not tonight, ladies and gentlemen. A few years. I've never jumped a decade. Never jumped a decade yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the longer you live, like the harder it is to jump a decade.
Yeah, that's true. You're within like a window. They're coming in my ears asking me all kinds of questions. How old am I now? I was definitely, let me think back. Okay, this has been, oh boy, yeah, I might have jumped a decade. Oh boy. Okay. Wow, now I'm doing the math.
So like going like 20 to 30 or 30 to 40?
30s to 40s.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. So anything can happen, boys and girls. You just put your mind to it, and and find your own Charlize Theron. You know.
Mm-hmm. Shout to Cougar Town. They like it roar.
Roar.
Cynthia Erivo sat down with Entertainment Weekly, and she complimented Cisco's Thong Song in the way that only black people can. Take a look.
Why do you need to sing like this when singing about a thong? The whole end section of this song is so unnecessary. You have a key change. There's a praise break at some point in this with his voice. It's ridiculous. You don't need to sing like that, and he does. He's just enjoying himself, and the voice is doing what it's meant to be doing. Can we just fast forward to towards the end and turn it up? Why do you need to do that? Why do you need to sing that? Baby, said I like the way. Why do we need this? I don't think you heard me. Said I like the way. And this is going to go on for a full minute or two. Baby, oh, whoa. It has to continue. And you're still singing to the end of the song. You're singing about a thong. You can't tell me that that's not a good vocal, because it is a good vocal. That's a brilliant vocal for a song about a thong. It's so much, and he just keeps going. I don't think you heard me. We did. We heard you. I just love how he uses his voice for something that you wouldn't expect a voice to be used for.
She broke that down like a scientist.
She did. Maybe she might not appreciate thongs as much as the rest of us do.
What? Now, she appreciates
I know
the song.
she does,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, the particular, like, Cisco was going in.
Yo, and the funny thing is, like, when she started talking about it, it was like a clip was showed, like, with him doing like a cartwheel.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, how excited is my man that there are thongs on the scene and my man is doing a one-handed cartwheel, risking it all.
I remember when in that video, like, I remember this interview one time where Cisco was talking about he wanted that music video to be one of the greatest music videos of all time, which is why it has so many bizarre parts.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember when he's like Naruto running like on top of the crowd or whatever? They're all like on the beach, they're holding up, and he's like crouching tiger, hidden thong, running across the hands and heads of people on the beach.
Yeah, man, like all the bells and whistles definitely added up.
Yeah.
And because like it's part of like also the meme type culture too. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen like the memes where like they usually do this to Sierra. It'll be a picture of her singing and her hair's blowing, and it's like, what Sierra song calls for this?
Yeah, exactly. Which one?
And then if you took that same thing with like Cisco doing the backflip or the cartwheel, like yo, what song calls for this? Thong Song. That's
The
the
Thong Song. Like, well, the other thing about the Thong Song is like, have you been seeing this stuff where I feel like the Thong Song went viral a little bit earlier this year because they were like, oh, that is that like violin or whatever sample is like heavily inspired by Eleanor Rigby, which is a Beatles song.
Yup.
And they like hired the guy who played for like some orchestra to come up and like riz it up a little bit, and then they used it, and I was like, it's an outstanding track.
I thought I picked up on that because that was right around the time I started listening to the Beatles, and Eleanor Rigby was my joint.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, I was like, okay, all right, we see you, Cisco.
Also, what year did the Thong Song come out? I feel like it's like 98.
98, yeah. That feels about right.
Somewhere in there. Let me tell you something. Like 16 to 18 or 19-year-old Tanner, like Fisk. 1999 is when they're coming for us. Okay, so the Thong Song hits in 99. This is still MTV Spring Break era.
Yeah.
Like, the passion with which Cisco was singing about the Thong Song was the passion I felt in my life at that point in time. Same.
Good times for all, man. Well, listen, after the break, did Mario diss Jay-Z because of a girl? And does Taylor Swift have to teach her man Travis Kelce how to read? All that in 2 minutes.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. R&B singer Mario stopped by Drink Champs and shared a story from back in the day when he turned down hanging out with Jay-Z. Yo, people were offering $1 million or dinner with Jay-Z for a minute there, right?
Yeah, I do recall that.
Yeah, but before then, he turned it down, which is crazy. But here is why he did it.
Okay. Around the time Just a Friend came out, Jay had like 2 shows in Madison Square Garden.
We say Jay, you talking about
Jay-Z.
Okay, yes.
And he wanted me to come out on his set and would meet me and all that and try out whatever. And at the time, I was dating this girl in Jersey. And the night that they wanted me to come out, I had already had plans for her. So at the time, my manager hit me like, yo, look, you gotta put on. Jay wants you to come out. Ooh. I was like, I can't.
Wait, is this Madison Square Garden?
Bro, this Madison Square Garden, bro. Mind you, Just a Friend is out. It's moving.
And it's moving. It's lit.
But I just came from promo too.
Right.
So, you know, I'm in some, you know, Dominican, Puerto Rican vibes, type Washington Heights energy.
Yeah. That's Dominican.
But in Jersey, though.
Okay, Jersey.
No, it's just Dominican and Puerto Rican.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
This makes noise for you.
I know. They got it.
My fault. I think you're confused.
I'm not confused at all.
Let me help you out.
Nah,
Okay,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
But like, so yeah, and I passed up on that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro.
The kiss of death. Yeah, I mean, he may not have known at that time, but there are certain people that you can't necessarily say no to because the locks will be mysteriously changed everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Like, yo, Mario is an artist that every time he dropped a single, and the previous single that came out before would be big, he had to reintroduce himself every single time from that point on.
Yeah.
And, blacklisting is a thing.
I don't understand why you don't like scoop your girl up and go to Madison Square Garden.
She must have been a Nas fan. Especially when you think around that part of time, I think the Jay-Z and Nas beef was still cracking. So, I don't know, man. And something tells me he's probably not with that girl anymore.
Yo, absolutely. He's definitely not with that girl anymore because he definitely would have said it if he was. And he also just acted like he was kind of dating her, like he was not that serious, but he had plans. Like, did he have plans? Had they,
If it's the first time you're going to knock it down, then, maybe I can understand, especially depending on the severity of the baddie.
He's Mario. I feel like he's knocking it down with her no matter what. And I also feel like I don't know if she's way into rap beefs, maybe she's a Nas fan, but otherwise, you taking a girl backstage to Madison Square Garden, of course you're knocking it down for sure.
You're knocking it down on the way home.
Right?
Play your card right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think you live and you learn. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, I feel like Mario's one of the most talented singers out there, and possibly Chris Rock's kid. But if you ever look at Mario,
now that you say that, I'm just looking at the two of them in my head side by side, and you got a case there.
Yeah, they try to say that they're not, but I need Maury.
Right.
I need Maury.
Get Maury out here. Stat.
But anyway, man. So good luck to Mario and good luck on all future endeavors, man. You still dope.
Yeah.
His big record, man, back in the day was Braid My Hair. Mad dudes wanted to get their hair braided because of that record.
Yeah. You got influence.
Big time.
Dating a girl in New Jersey, passing up meeting Jay-Z at Madison Square Garden.
Have you ever sacrificed something for the nookie?
Oh boy. Oh my gosh. I don't know. They're giggling in the back. I can hear them giggling in the back over here. No, I don't know that I've ever sacrificed something, but I have been the person to be like, yo, HK, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna bring this girl. I'm not that serious about her, but she's gonna be there with me. And then and then when you see them, Yeah. And then so a lot of times I'll bring him in at the risk of knowing that my friends are looking at this woman and they that's not long term.
Yeah. Don't get too familiar.
Yeah. Don't worry about learning her name or her stage name.
I know when people that tear the show up with they're gonna be special guest stars or they're gonna be they're here for the season.
Exactly. Some people are here for a season. They're a recurring star. They're recurring lead supporting. But sometimes they're single episode guest stars, and unfortunately you have to bring them out in public sometimes.
Kind of like on Star Trek, that person who just appears out of nowhere. Who is this character? Oh, they died as soon as they got off the ship.
Yeah.
Ah, man. Emmy Award winners they are.
Yep.
Well, NFL baller Travis Kelce opened up about his 2023 SNL appearance when he was on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast. He said the most difficult part about hosting the show was the pre-show table read. Now, the writers' rooms were fun because you're just getting pitched the ideas. But the table reading for a guy that can't really read that well, it was kind of a bleep situation. All right? He said, I felt like I was just trying to get through the reading instead of actually acting it out and giving it a voice and a character and things like that. I was just focused on, don't effing skip this line.
The bar is so low for a lot of folks.
Yeah. That's why these teachers and stuff can't just be passing the football players so they can play in the big game to get their high school to state.
I imagine he can read. He's just not doing it with the right emphasis. You know what I'm saying?
Now, there's a lot of people who know the shapes of words.
Yeah.
But don't know how to say said words.
Here's the thing, is it can be tricky. And also, here's the thing, is a part of our job involves a lot of reading. A part of everyone who works on stuff like this, our job involves a lot of reading. When you're Travis Kelce or you're a professional athlete, a lot of your job does not require a lot of reading.
Yeah.
It requires a very thick skull and a large bone structure and the willingness to run your body into other dudes.
Yeah, we summon you for your strength, not your ability to read ingredients.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you feel like because I know I feel this way.
Okay.
I feel like people who are higher up on the attractive scale get more passes than people who are lower down that ladder.
Yeah.
Like women love Travis Kelce, and I'm sure even as we did this story, like there was somebody in the chat. I'll read to you.
Yeah, of course. He's a tall, wealthy, professional athlete. Women don't care if this man can't read his own name.
Now, if Travis Kelce looked like Ron Howard's brother, you'd be calling him a loser and say he needs to go back to school.
Yeah, listen, there's a reason why I'm 5'8" and I have an excellent vernacular and accurate diction, because I had to get by in this world. Travis Kelce, not so much.
Yeah, like I had to learn how to do everything. I blossomed late in life.
Yeah.
I feel like
Wait,
I'm
have
still
you ever
blossoming.
have you ever been out with someone though? Have you ever been out with like a woman and you found her so attractive that things that would normally be like no-nos, you're like, it's an okay?
Nah, not at all.
Okay.
Because to even get to that point,
Yeah.
to where I'm gonna take you out someplace nice, and this is even going back like way before I've been like in cuffs, right? Like if you're not here intellectually and we can't have conversations, and you would pronounce the word Riyadh.
That's
we're
a hard
not
one.
I can't be around people that stress me out to like think for them. per se.
Yeah.
You gotta be smart.
Yeah. Some people don't always carry their end of the weight of the conversation.
Nah, like you could be an arm piece, but sometimes there's a lot of headaches that come with that, especially if you can't read.
Well, here's my thing is like a lot of people make fun of Floyd Mayweather for his lack of phonics.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll make fun of Travis Kelce for the same things?
No, because he's America's sweetheart, and he's not like he's never been on the bad guy scale.
Okay,
you know what
now
I mean?
see. Yeah, there is a distinction there.
Because Floyd Mayweather sometimes will sell those tickets, because by all accounts, everybody I know who knows him personally, they're like, yo, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
But he has to turn it up a notch.
Yeah.
To sell
He's a
these
pugilist.
tickets.
You want those sorts of things. I would love to see like Travis Kelce just like I'd love for someone to just give him a list of words and just see how far we get.
Don't he
Make him get harder.
Don't he host a game show?
I think he had one.
Yeah, like they must have been showing him pictures.
Oh wow, yo, Travis Kelce hosting Pictionary. That'd be pretty
It would
fun.
maybe be on for next season. I don't know.
He hosts a game show called Name That Shape. He hosted Are You Smarter Than a Celebrity? How about that?
Wow. It'd be crazy if it was just a bunch of emojis that he's reading and not the actual words.
Yeah.
Like, yo, watermelon lamb chop, sailor man hat.
But also they do get their heads banged around a lot in professional football. So like, CTE's real.
To quote Will Smith, tell the truth.
Tell the truth. Okay, all right, trucking along. Guys, the entertainment industry's had its ups and downs, and actress and reality star April Jones knows how it can be, and she decided to share this message to her threads saying, I busted my butt in school for my radiation science degree, and it was so worth it. While things are slow in the entertainment industry, I've been able to circle back and work in my field. I've always been able to have this to fall back on. I also love what I do, so it's just an extra plus. I love this.
Yeah.
I love this a lot, actually.
I was looking real quick to try to figure out like what movies or TV shows I would know April Jones from, and it's nothing I watch.
Yeah?
Oh, she was in I Got the Hookup too. And I noticed she's Marion's baby mother.
Those aren't, and she dated Taye Diggs, but those aren't necessarily jobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, she was on that, and you're kind of just playing yourself in that.
Sure.
Like she's been on like the box covers of things that look like this movie, The Comeback. It looks like I've seen this cover, and I feel like Julia
Louis-Dreyfus. Wait, no, Julia.
Pretty Woman.
The white chick.
I feel like Julia Roberts was in a similar movie in a parallel universe that had a cover.
Oh, that's the cover of Pretty Woman. That's the box for.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So she's doing those kind of movies.
But here's the thing: is like, listen, we're lucky. Anybody who works on any sort of like talk show or entertainment news sort of things, mostly those are daily type shows. And depending on where those shows are distributed, how they're distributed, a lot of times that's a Monday to Friday gig. That's like basically a regular job. You're there every single day. Whereas like a TV series, as we know, you could shoot a season of a Tyler Perry show in like a week and a half, and then you're off. And you got to hope that you find more work. And so it can be real sparse out there, even for bigger names. They could go months or even a year sometimes without working.
And I'm glad that she's hustling because, you know, like nothing's ever guaranteed.
Right.
And especially if you could find like a degree or like a passion or something that's kind of niche where there'll be, you know, where AI can't necessarily replace you yet. You know what I'm saying? I think it's dope. But
I also think it's super cool for someone who's like working in the industry in that capacity. Like she is working, there's no doubt about it. She's working in the industry, but she said things are a little slow. I'm working with radiology, I think is what she had a degree in radiology. That also goes to show it's like there's no shame. I love it when people talk about there's no shame in taking a job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it's all about making sure your bills are paid, especially in a weary world where nothing's guaranteed. You got to have fail-safe after fail-safe after fail-safe.
Yeah.
You know,
Kudos to you, April Jones.
Good luck to you hustlers.
Yep. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but afterwards, we're going to share what 1998 movie now comes with a trigger warning, and we run to the comments over mayonnaise. Yes, that's right. Spicy, spicy mayonnaise. We'll see you guys in 2 minutes.
Hold.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back. All right, so Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker's 1998 classic movie, Rush Hour, has been deemed problematic, so much so that the USA Network has a warning at the beginning of the film which says, "We all love our buddy comedies, but this movie was created in a different time. FYI, certain depictions, language, and humor may seem outdated at times and offensive." There's the warning right there. It comes up on the screen when you go to pick this movie. Now, someone in the comments said it's because Gen Zs are too soft and easily offended. So here's the question, HK. Here's the debate. It's like, should movies like Rush Hour have a trigger warning?
I mean, with my 80s logic, no. However, I get it,
Yeah.
you know, because I would rather them put a warning at the beginning than just edit stuff out of the movie.
Yeah.
So, like, you're going back looking for your favorite scene, which may be questionable, and it's not there anymore. So
Yeah.
I do appreciate that approach.
It's tricky because, well, I should say, I don't think it's tricky. I do think there are layers to the discussion. Because, like, I watched Rush Hour at a time when the things happening in Rush Hour were acceptable, right? And so, but if we say not Rush Hour and we think of other movies from the 80s, the
Weird
70s,
Science.
the 60s, Weird Science, Tropic Thunder was like on the line.
Yo, they got that in at the buzzer.
If they waited, if that movie had been released 2 weeks later.
Yo, there's a Jamie Foxx movie that is lurking in limbo somewhere. I think it's called All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of a similar situation where it's like, yo, man, when we film this movie, you can put this movie out. You can't put this movie out right now because the world changed too much.
And so that's my thing is like, so it's funny, our producer brought up Tropic Thunder, and I'll be the first to admit it. Tropic Thunder is there's a very problematic character in Tropic Thunder here in the 2025 year of our Lord. Tropic Thunder is also one of those movies, kind of like old Mel Brooks comedies that I love.
Yeah.
That I just thought this is the funniest thing I'd ever seen. Now, like looking at it through a different lens, it's like, okay, well, you're laughing at probably the inappropriateness of a lot of this. I think a trigger warning is fine. I'm like you. It's like, and this is not the same. This is not the same at all. But the Thriller music video has a trigger warning in front of it.
Oh yeah, and that was there before they even made anybody do it. He just put that out off
and
top.
he's like, I do not believe in the occult, yada yada yada. But like, here's the thing, and it's because Mike's years, Mike was a Jehovah's Witness, and so like if you need the trigger warning, I'm pro you getting the trigger warning. I don't need the trigger warning. I'll happily sit through 2 or 3 seconds of trigger warning. But I'm like you, as long as they don't edit it out or act like it never existed.
Yeah, but if you guys want to like get taken into a 1980s time machine, the scene in Weird Science when the biker gang comes to the house party. Yes. That whole scene, right? The dialogue, the things that are said cannot be said today. And I'm proud of the time I grew up in to be able to see it all. A time before the internet, a time after the internet.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's part of the thing. If you haven't seen Rush Hour, I would recommend you watch Rush Hour. It's such an interesting cultural clash. Jackie Chan is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Chris Tucker was coming on his way up.
He's in his bag.
And a lot of the jokes are about Jackie Chan and his lack of understanding of English and like the cultural differences there, and him not understanding American culture, in particular Black American culture. And so it's like, okay, like we can make him kind of the butt of some of these jokes, but at the same time, Jackie Chan didn't have a good grasp of English and didn't
understand. He was kind of exploited.
Yeah. Never touch a black man's radio, like that.
Well, for payback, I think on a lot of the Chinese posters for Rush Hour, Chris Tucker's not on the poster. Ooh, yeah. Trigger warning on that.
Trigger warning. Trigger warning.
Yeah, everybody's a villain. All right, man. Well, we're on to running into the comments, and in some Tannerville news, straight from the IG page of the Vulgar Chef, we have this new food item. Check this out.
What? Is that cheese?
It looks like cheese. A tasty cheese.
Slices of mayonnaise?
A little Swiss or a pepper jack. Not even pepper jack, yeah. Oh. Well, Duke's Mayo is just trolling us, but checked out the comments. Somebody said, how the hell do you make a dry condiment? Another person said, correction, white people add mayo slices to their sandwiches. Ain't nobody else doing this. Another said, I'm gonna need that slice of mustard too, and we need some square tomatoes.
Wow. Would you eat mayo slices if they were real?
Only if it's Hellmann's, because when you bring out the Hellmann's, you bring out the best. Because I don't like the Miracle Whip. Like, the Hellmann's is the one that got the blue and yellow label, right? Yeah, nah, that's real mayonnaise. That's that real stuff.
I don't eat enough mayonnaise to blind taste test know the difference in mayonnaise and Miracle Whip.
Yeah, bro, if I had a spoon of each, I promise today
I could probably figure out
today
which
would be
one.
the day you would know the difference. Because I can't even describe what's in Hellmann's.
Yeah.
But when I have Hellmann's, it's like, this tastes like sandwiches I used to get from the deli. When I have Miracle Whip, it tastes like camp.
Yeah, the Hellmann's is probably the real egg products, real oils, and egg and whatnot. But here's the thing, is like, y'all could come for me, but if they made a quality slice of mayo, it's easy to throw on. What if it was like still kind of creamy feeling in the mouth?
Yeah, I think like once it get room temperature, it kind of like kind of melts and turns to a little goo.
Yeah,
like,
that gets in there. Because cheese didn't always come in like pre-done slices.
This is true, like, because they was like, what used to have to chop it off the block.
You have to chop it.
Yeah, sometimes you would chop it too thick, and then you tearing off that sandwich like a steak.
I say that, but then at the exact same time, if someone's like, hey, could I get 2 slices of barbecue sauce? That would mess me up.
Oh, yo.
I don't know, that feels different to me.
It does, because it's like red. You know what I mean?
Or, a slice of red?
Yeah, or like that deep purple, like, yeah. Well, not even purple. What is that color, maroon? Yeah,
maroon, a dark maroon.
Yeah, I don't know if it hits the same.
Okay. All right, moving on. We've all been on flights and we've had some of the most interesting conversations, but you gotta have the time and you gotta be in the right mood, right? Well, this man was very clear that he did not want to be bothered for this reason. Take a look. Yo, what? What's that say? Do not disturb.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
So my man had a project and he said, please do not talk to me. I don't have self-control. Do not talk to me.
Wow, because he'll keep talking to the person for the entire flight. I did notice him typing away at his computers. I respect this.
Yeah. I mean, like, he went above and beyond a Call of Duty because he even, like, propped that paper in there in a way to where, like, it doesn't fall and you, like, you know, stay due diligent and do your work.
I like that he went ahead and wrote the whole message out, but if I just saw someone with a piece of paper propped up under their headphones, that'd get it done.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd say to myself,
yeah, one of these kids is doing his own thing.
Absolutely not. I don't need any part of this whatsoever.
Leave him alone. All right, man, listen, man, we gotta run the break, but when we come back, man, we blast you out with more side dish in 2 minutes.
What's up, guys? Charles Entertainment Cheese, better known as Chucky, he's launched something finally for adults, Chuck's Arcade. We're talking about, this is a new arcade. There are 10 locations across 8 states. That would be Florida, Connecticut, my home state of Oklahoma, New York, Georgia. What's up, HK? We gotta go. Texas, New Hampshire, and Missouri. You can play classic and new games, and they're gonna have food and alcoholic beverages, all for the big kid in your life. How are we going, and how many tickets are we winning?
Yeah, like, especially if they up the prizes that you could win. Like, things that are super duper useful. Like, things from the Sharper Image, perhaps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the Sharper Image things, or like phones, or like, I don't know. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. It reminds me of a little bit of a Dave & Buster's.
Yeah. Which I know, like, in some cities are kind of hit or miss depending on the clientele of the area. But, yo, I mean, I rock with Chuck. I was late in the game when I realized that Chuck E. Cheese pizza is actually good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they switched up, but I will run in there, play no game, order like a gluten-free pizza and bounce.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it you who was telling me, or was someone else who was telling me that, like, during the pandemic, Chuck E. Cheese, because all the locations are closed, right? Kids aren't coming in.
They changed their name to Pascali's.
They changed their name to Pascali's to sell fine dining pizza or something?
Yeah, and to the untrained taste bud, you'd be like, oh, this is some good pizza, and people was only hating on it once they found out it was Chuck E. Cheese. Like, yo, this is Chuck E. Cheese. I hate it now. And it's like, no, shut up, you still like it.
That's hilarious.
I think I heard like something like they put like a little bit of sugar in their pizza too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just regular, like, just to, I don't know, sweeten it, keep the kids raging. I have no idea.
Oh, well, that would make sense.
Either way, it's good.
Drug the kids up. I get it. I love a good arcade. It's been a long time since I've been to an arcade, but I like an I'll do the shooter games and stuff like that.
Yo, they got the, so at the Chuck E. Cheese, like, not too far from the one I typically frequent, they've been selling alcoholic beverages for a while.
Oh, yeah?
But they still have, like, the same games from, I don't know, 2017. That we got to do something about. They got to up it up a little bit.
They got to up the game.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. Weird things. What is the weirdest thing that's happened to you at an arcade?
Okay, so it didn't happen at an arcade, but I remember one time I was a kid. So like in New York, they used to have these little places called Optimos. It was like a little cigar shop, but sometimes back in the 80s, they used to have arcade games in there. Okay. And like, you know, like back when I was like in elementary school, I put my quarters in my wallet and I would put my wallet on the game I was playing. Somebody stole my wallet.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was a lesson that I should have known better. I should have put the quarter in my kangaroo shoes.
Yeah. So the town I grew up in was so small, there's only like a couple places that had any arcade games at all. And one of them was a video rental house called Savage Land, and they had Pit Fighter.
Oh,
you know, like the old school.
It looked like it was happening for real.
Oh, it looked like it was happening for real. And I was doing really good, and I beat this one kid, and I really thought I was awesome because I got to stay up. And then this kid, who I knew was a little bit of a bully, came up, started playing next to me, and I was doing real good, and I was about to beat him, and then he started talking about how he was gonna beat me up for real, and then I had to lose at Pit Fighter.
Do you know this guy's name?
No, I don't know what happened to him ever since, but that was my last time playing video games at
You should track him down. I'm sure you could probably murder him.
Yeah, now it'd be better. Now would be a good time for me to run up against my high school and grade school.
Now you gotta take a year and avenge all the people that did you wrong in life. It's very cathartic.
Take a sabbatical. Go
like one by one, mark them off the list.
Yeah.
Like Steve Buscemi and Billy Madison.
Hilarious.
Anyways,
right.
man. So what was y'all traumatic incident or favorite arcade game that you used to like to play back in the days? I remember how like violently hard games like Popeye used to be in the arcade.
Well, you're throwing it way back talking about Popeye.
That's when I started. But even when you play games like The Simpsons and the X-Men, they let you think you have a chance. And somewhere around level 4, them characters get a lot more difficult. And
they were just eating quarters back in the day.
I even have emulators now that emulates the arcade games.
Oh, yeah?
And I have to like hit select mad time just to make it think I got quarters just to like get through the game. Like most of those games you're not beating under $20.
So that's what's funny is like I remember the day that I learned, and this is a throwback for all you analog kids, that vintage like film rolls like would come in a regular camera or whatnot, that like black and gray little round case was a perfect size to hold like $2 or $3 in quarters.
Oh.
And so I used to fill those up when my mom would like get film developed and whatnot, and I would have those, and that's what I kept all my quarters in. But I've definitely been dropped off at arcades and burned $20 trying to beat X-Men or something.
That was very smart with the like little photo thing, man. I kind of wish people needed quarters more.
Yeah, I know, right? Sad day.
Now you're gonna use that to go to the laundry.
Yeah.
I digress. Anyway, so do we have some crimes to solve?
Oh, I believe so. I'm looking forward to it because I feel like we're going to get back on a hot streak. Guys, we're going to be back in 2 minutes with everybody's favorite game. Whose cousin is it? We'll see you too. What's up? Welcome back, guys. It's time for everybody's favorite game.
Whose cousin is it?
Okay, you know the game. Here we go. Here's the hints. A 43-year-old man from Florida. 43-year-old man from Florida got himself stabbed up over some drug beef. He was rushed to the hospital where, while trying to save his life, a nurse found, wait for it, drug paraphernalia in his, hold on, prison wallet, if you know what I mean.
Oh, not the keister. Seems like this man had a whole dispensary up in there. Now, in his crack was a crack pipe, a lighter, some booger sugar, and tinfoil, all stored in his third eye. Wow. The nurse was probably like, sir, this ain't Amazon Prime delivery.
Wow. Is he Florida's version of Franklin Saint from Snowfall? Now it seems his clappas, or as some might say, his leather Cheerio, would be his preferred smuggling area, because last year the booty smuggler got caught with 2 bags of fentanyl and crack rocks hidden up in his booty during a strip search. This man has more backside. His backside's got more inventory than a corner store.
That's a whole lot for one man's balloon knot. His charges are as long as a CVS receipt, multiple DUIs, possession of coke, meth, fentanyl, pipes, you name it. Now, he's been collecting charges like Pokemon cards because he got to catch them all.
Yeah, this man is the CEO of Poor Life Choices. So after getting arrested for his injuries, the booty bodega was arrested, but he made bail for $5,500 and then had the audacity to plead not guilty. Sir, we caught you brown-handed. Okay, whose cousin is it?
Woo, that's a lot to unpack,
There's
brother.
a lot. Well, that's a lot to unpack, all right.
All right, so the Florida of it all.
Yeah, well.
A little bit everybody's out there.
Uh-huh.
You know, we didn't say what part of Florida.
We didn't say what part of Florida.
But, you know.
He got stabbed. That's what sent him to the hospital.
Okay.
And there's where they found his cavity.
Yeah, they was trying to cut him to see if it was pure.
I feel like this is my cousin, and I would go so far as to describe it as my meth cousin. I feel like.
Oh. So like maybe the crack is what he does when he can't find the meth.
Yeah, I feel like this is my thin cousin, and he's a little desperate, and he butt smuggles everything he can. Got you.
Yeah, like, 'cause I was thinking that initially it was a other cousin, but then it was the stab component.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, like usually the stabber, not the stabbee. So yeah, so now I'm leaning in your direction because I don't think this is us.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think
it doesn't strike me because this is a 43-year-old man,
right?
And I feel like my cousin might be. And I don't have a good basis for this. I want to admit that. I don't have a good reason to think this, but I feel like my career criminal cousin might be more willing to, you know,
risk it all.
Yeah. Underground smuggler, the whole thing.
Yeah, so yeah, I think I'm gonna go with your cousin Tanner.
Okay,
but
I feel like it's my cousin.
I'm riding shotgun with you on this statement. So
all right, let's see.
As we always do at this time, move that van.
Come on. Yes, Michael O'Neal. I told you.
Surprise.
Surprise.
Oh, man, and it looks like he is, like he's still trying to get it out.
I was about to say, that's the face of a man who's experiencing some discomfort.
He is trying to dispense the rest of the dispensary in this picture right here.
Why would you put fentanyl or any drug up there?
Apparently, man, that is like the hoodie pocket for drug people.
Wow.
Like, you hear so many stories about people just like, you know, colonializing drugs. Like, even people that get drugs in jail. Like, yo, man, like, do you understand what it took for that to get in here? And you about to smoke that, snort that, ingest that, do whatever you want to do?
This is how we know drugs are bad.
It is.
Anything that's willing to make you look past the origin of the thing that you're about to put into your body, like where it was on this other person's body, is not good.
Yeah. You could be on that ish, but don't be on that ish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Well, don't be like this guy right here. Make better decisions, and as Tyler Berry would say, learn from this.
Yeah. I wonder now, like, just that face he was making back there, where he's like, Sir, do you have any drug paraphernalia on you? No. All right, bend over and touch your toes. Now, hold on a second.
And cough.
And he got that tattoo there on the neck.
Yeah, he's a glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
Self-prescribed. Well, anyway, man, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. As always, man, big ups to everybody in the chat. Be sure you like, subscribe, tell others we out here.
All right, guys, and we'll see you next time. Don't do drugs.
Okay.
Don't do drugs. And if you do drugs, please don't put them up your doo-doo.
Man, man, when we see people come in, yo, Justin, thank you so much for rocking with us. Miriam Gilly, we see you in there as well. Nicole O'Brien, thank you always so much. Mr. Quinn, where you been?
Where you been, Mr. Kean?
We love that, man. Stick around, because coming up next, I think we're going scrolling with Jen and V.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, man.
That's for
Support
our
the
Fox
Soul
soldiers.
fam.
All right, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to Scrolling with your girls, Jen and V. We're your hosts. This is my girl over here, Jen. Hey. And I'm your girl, V. Garize. It is time to talk, text, and tag the 3 T's, your friends, families, enemies, all of them, and tell them it's time to turn it on, Scrolling with Jen and V. We got some scrolling to do, folks, right, Jen?
That's right. We do. We definitely do.
Yes, and of course we got our bevies on ready. We gonna cheers it on up. Tap,
Yes,
cheers.
that's always nice.
Do a little sippity sip,
Like a
right,
nice
Jen?
beverage.
Yes, and we're gonna go ahead and start this this full. Oh, my straw fell out, y'all.